What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Like and subscribe or you'll have bad luck for 10 years. Sometimes when someone needs help, a cool cop shows up to help them out. Check out these cool cops who save the day, and watch until the end to see a cop that's so awesome you won't believe it. This cop was patrolling the area around a park when he saw a little kid fall into a pond. He immediately jumps into action to save the kid's life. Apparently, the little guy had wandered away from his parents while they were distracted, and ended up next to the water. If it wasn't for this fast-acting cop, he probably wouldn't have made it out of there alive. But luckily, the cop was ready to run in and save the day. Police officers who are ready to help at any moment are priceless. When people think about cops saving the day, they usually think about life or death situations and stuff like that. But sometimes all it takes to be a hero is to show off a little bit of kindness to someone in need. This hero cop takes time out of his day to play hopscotch with a little homeless girl who just needs some company. What might seem like a small action can actually have a huge impact on someone's life, especially for a young kid like this. This is one sidewalk game that she won't ever forget. A large group of SWAT officers are getting ready to perform a raid, but this little dog keeps trying to play with them. Instead of going ahead with their mission and putting the dog at risk of being shot, these officers take the time to get the dog out of there into a safe area away from the action. It would have been easier for them to just ignore the pup and do their job, but these heroes were happy to take the extra time to keep their furry friend safe. Even cooler cops are coming up. You might not think shoveling snow is a huge deal, but the fact is that the cops in this video decided to help these people out of the kindness of their hearts. Small acts like this can make a community stronger and safer for everyone. This is a perfect example of what a hero cop looks like. Someone who cares about their community and is ready to step in and help out in any way they can. Saving the day doesn't always mean doing something crazy and heroic. Sometimes all it takes is grabbing a shovel and doing a bit of work to make the world a better place. Who says that cops don't know how to have fun? Instead of getting on to the people hanging out in this parking lot, the cops decided to join in the good times and do a burnout in front of all of them. Sometimes blowing off steam like this is a great way to get people to trust the police more. These cops know that building ties to the people in the community is the best way to earn their trust and keep everyone safe. It's always nice to see cops cut loose for a bit. Their jobs are super dangerous and stressful, so it's good for them to join in on the fun every once in a while. These women on their way to a march go out of their way to thank the police officers who are there to keep them safe. You can tell how much the cops appreciate the kind gesture by the huge smiles they have on their faces. This is what happens when people come together and treat each other with kindness and respect. Everyone wins when things like this happen. Some of the women even go up and hug every cop who's there. Just like the officer playing hopscotch with the little girl, this cool cop takes a break from his patrol to teach these kids some slick soccer moves. These kids are obviously super excited to get a chance to play with a police officer, and this is a memory they'll probably never forget. With just this little action, the cop was able to make these kids' day. The world would be a better place if we had more cool cops like this guy. These next cops are even cooler than the last. These guys thought they were going to be in trouble when the cops arrived, but it turns out this cop was super cool and understanding of the situation. Instead of getting angry and yelling at these guys to get out of there, the officer was cool, calm, and collected, and let them go about their day after talking to them for a minute.
Out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we're trying to play this really weird game up here where it's like, hey, don't come out to where the furthest place where you could possibly catch COVID-19 is.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, just keep that in mind as far as like getting together and pooling in one area, because if people start calling, then we got to come up and disperse people.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Understood.
So,
Understood.
It is what it is, man. It's a weird time.
It is a very awkward time.
Yeah, it is.
It's not every day that you see cops that are this cool and who care more about helping people than handing out tickets. Even the guys who were filming can't believe how chill the cop was to them. Even though he was pulled over for doing illegal wheelies and driving without a license plate or driver's license, the incredibly cool cops in this video let the driver go without even a warning. After they checked out all of his information to make sure that the bike wasn't stolen, the cops just asked him to obey the laws of the road from now on and not do any more wheelies.
Nice around. Like you said, do it. Private parking lot, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
As long as you have permission.
Yeah.
But out on the streets, just obey the laws, please.
Gotcha.
Alright, man. Be safe.
Alright.
This guy is super lucky that the cops he ran into were so cool about everything. People have been put in jail for doing what he did, but he was able to drive himself home without even a ticket. After he got pulled over for going way over the speed limit, this biker thought he would be getting a ticket for sure. Instead, the super cool cop who stopped him has a great conversation about motorcycles with him and just asks him to slow it down a bit on the interstate. Apparently, the cop also rides bikes, so he knows how fun it is to go as fast as possible.
Like I said, I ride, man, and we get a lot of motorcycle TCs.
Well, what type of bike you ride?
Huh?
What type of bike you
I
ride?
used to ride an R1.
Oh, okay.
Now I ride Harleys because I can't handle. I can't.
Yeah.
But it's a nice bike, dude.
Thank you, I appreciate it, man.
Slow it down, man. I mean,
I got you.
More than anything, I just don't want to have to respond to you getting hit by a car.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's the cop's job to keep people safe on the road, so he lets the rider know he needs to take it easy on the throttle. The cops were called on these bikers because people thought they were doing burnouts in a parking lot. When the cops arrived, they just calmly talked to the bikers and let them know not to break the law anymore. They could have easily given them all tickets, but instead these cool cops just let them stay safe and let them all go. You can tell how happy and relieved the bikers are to meet police officers that are this cool. These cops definitely saved the day by being so understanding. New York cops aren't always known for being nice, but the cool cop in this next video really saved this guy from a big ticket. The biker gets off his motorcycle to take a picture of it in the middle of the street, and the cop sees him and stops him. After checking out his license and making sure he doesn't have any outstanding warrants for his arrest, the cop just tells him to get out of there. The biker's more than happy to do what he says after being saved from a ticket like that. You won't believe how cool the cops coming up are. The guy in this next video thought he was for sure going to get a ticket. And what's worse is that if he had been given one, his license would have been suspended. Luckily for him, the cops who pulled him over were super cool about it and let him off with just a warning. He's super relieved, because if these cops hadn't been so nice about it, he wouldn't be able to drive anymore. Plus, the ticket would have been very expensive. If you're gonna get pulled over, hopefully it's by an awesome cop like this.
Like I said, I'll give you a break this time, but you gotta drive safe.
Yeah.
If you want to keep your license.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much, honestly.
We've seen some cool cops so far, but this one might be the coolest. The guy filming the video was caught going over 90 miles an hour on the highway by a police officer. When he pulled over to the side of the road, the cop just rolled his window down and asked him if he wanted to go to jail.
Do you want to go to jail? I don't want to take you to jail. I ride you, man.
The driver shakes his head no, and the cop just tells him to slow down. Then the cop just drives off and lets the biker go without even looking at his license or anything. It doesn't get any luckier than that. Most cops would have arrested the biker and had his bike impounded. But today he ran into the coolest cop ever and was able to leave without anything happening. The guy in this video was speeding while also carrying a gun. However, he was completely honest about the firearm, and you can tell that the officers really appreciated that. These cops are super cool about everything, even though the biker ran a red light and broke the speed limit by at least 30 miles an hour. After talking to him for a while and running his license, the cop let him off the hook with just a warning. It's pretty rare to find cops that are this cool and understanding. The coolest cops ever are coming up next. Trespassing on private property can result in big tickets and even jail time. But the rider in this video got lucky when he got stopped by one of the coolest cops ever. The officer explains why the biker needs to leave, but is super cool and calm about it. He even lets the biker take a picture of his police cruiser for his Instagram. This is what happens when cool cops are on duty. Nobody gets hurt and everyone just goes on with their day. It's not every day that you see a cop that's this cool about a situation. These two guys were riding their dirt bikes through town illegally. But instead of giving them tickets or arresting them, this awesome police officer just tells them to go home safely.
Okay.
Where are you guys coming from?
Phoenixville.
Go home.
Okay.
Get me?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good one. Stay safe.
Be careful going home.
We will.
The riders are obviously relieved that the cop who caught them is so cool, because otherwise, they could have even lost their licenses after this. This is one cop who's more concerned about keeping people safe than just punishing them because he can. Doing wheelies on a motorcycle is a super dangerous stunt. Even though it looks cool, you don't have any control over where the bike goes once the wheel is up in the air. Most of the time, if a cop catches a biker doing these on the highway, they'll instantly pull them over and arrest them. But in this clip, the cool cop saves the day by just telling these guys to stop driving like idiots.
That's probably not a good idea, right?
Sorry.
Yeah. I would think that there's better decisions you should be making.
Thank you, sir.
All right? Try not to drive like a dumbass.
Thank you.
He doesn't even make them pull over and give them their licenses. He just wants to make sure that everyone on the road is as safe as possible.